This is Jim Sawyer for capitalismandcrisis.org. When last we followed our pugnacious-leaning zombie trio through the great Salty City, Adam, Jeremy, and Joan were touring the mind-expanding library designed by internationally acclaimed architect Moshe Safdie. His is a unique building with two personas, as it were. One side is logical and orderly, even as it projects cultural authoritarianism. The other curvilinear, creative, and surely indomitable. How possibly, the zombies wonder, might the oppositional truthiness and saltiness cultures meld into a more functional whole, perhaps in likeness of Safdie's stunning achievement in bricks and mortar? Indeed, might his innovative physical design serve as a powerful cultural metaphor also? So much for high-minded ideals, the zombies ruminate as Smith prepares to sock Bentham in the jaw. However, the contemplation of Safdie's mind-expanding structure diverts Smith's thinking, even as he hatches a conciliatory plan. Unexpectedly, it gains buy-in not only from Joan, but Jeremy also. It is this: for Bentham and Smith on the spot to lay out competing economic assessments of Trump's first presidential year. Then next, the zombie trio would follow at the University of Great Saltiness, where Professor Robinson is scheduled to deliver a path-breaking lecture. From her zombified perspective, Joan will address why so often contemporary economic policies don't work well or as well as Americans need them to. Next, Bentham stands as other library patrons mull about and summarizes his very supportive take on the economics of Trump and Trump Republicans. It comes down to coordination, Bentham says. Myriad economic activities are best left to free markets because they produce economic order spontaneously. For instance, if potential buyers want more of some product, then it becomes bid up to where price equilibrates quantity supplied by sellers with quantity demanded by buyers. Of course, there always will be unsatisfied consumers who either are unwilling or unable to purchase at the so-called market-clearing price. Tufsky, says Bentham. That's the way the economic world works best, when the natural law governing how free markets work is honored. The alternative to free market price competition and price coordination, of course, is government coordination by command, allegedly in which the momentary political majority decides where and how government will intervene. The so-called henchmen here are bureaucrats who remove far too many economic choices out of the hands of individuals, he asserts, and therefore out of the purview of what would otherwise have been individual free choice. This is why conservatives hate government, Professor Bentham pontificates. The outcome of Obama-style bureaucracy is overproduction of public goods, insufficient production of private goods, and diminished economic liberty. Potential customers may leave the free market empty-handed, of course, Jeremy says, but at least either way, they leave free to choose without domination by big government's huge economic thumb. Indeed, they are better off doing without, Bentham asserts, than acting under a Big Brother-type regime. Under President Barack Obama, the federal government went too far, he continues. Now market conservatives under the leadership of President Donald Trump are setting limits on dictatorial government incursions, then focusing on the here and now as they steer away from pie-in-the-sky scenarios favored by liberals. If liberals really want these sorts of things, then they should adjust their private spending to make such outcomes more likely, not by lobbying government. Donald Trump's first year in office has been smashingly successful, Bentham claims. He has cut taxes, leaving more purchasing power in the pockets of consumers and corporations. He has cut regulations, leaving businesses much freer from bureaucratic oversight. And he has appointed conservative judges who support socially conservative judicial outcomes, along with economically conservative outcomes also. Case closed on a resoundingly successful year under President Trump's leadership, says Bentham, at rolling back the many, many excesses of the Barack Obama presidency. So, what comes next? Well, next comes the competing progressive view of President Trump's first year in office. Of course, it is espoused by former laissez-faire advocate Adam Smith, now turned zombified moderate, who asserts his change of course is guided by changing context in which contemporary decision-making occurs. Stay tuned.